What's up guys, Jeremy from LSAPC here again with another What's for Dinner. There's the oven beeping, so we must be getting ready. Stick around. Alright guys, so tonight for dinner, you can see some of the ingredients here. I've got raw chicken, I've got some mayonnaise and sour cream, red onion, cashews, little celery, we've got some other things, but we are making chicken salad. We're going to make chicken salad sandwiches, we're going to serve them on croissants, and this is one of my absolute favorite recipes. You can make a ton of this stuff and keep it in the refrigerator and eat on it for days. So it's great for picnics, it's great for events with family, it's great for having friends over, it's great for so many things, but we're gonna get straight into it, so I hope you enjoy. First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and prepare the chicken breasts because we're gonna need to get those cooked and then cooled down so that we can cut them up and then add them into the chicken. So basically what I've got here is just a package of raw chicken breasts. We're gonna use this plastic cutting board here. Always use a plastic cutting board when you're working with raw chicken. You'll want to definitely use plastic because the juices can get down, the bacteria can get down into the wooden cutting boards, and it's really hard to clean. So I'm just going to recommend always using plastic for that. And we'll get this out of the way and we'll get these ready to go. So here's our 4 chicken breasts. You can make as many or as few as you want, but here we go, here they are. We're gonna season those up and get them in a pan, but I'm gonna go ahead, since I just touched these, I'm gonna go ahead and wash my hands before I season them up. So I'll be right back. All right guys, I am gloved up and ready to go. We are gonna handle this raw chicken a lot, so I went ahead and put gloves on. The first thing we're gonna do, you don't really have to oil these up or do anything to them. The seasoning should stick to it just fine since it's raw chicken, but we're just going to put a little bit of kosher salt on each of them. And then we're going to get a little bit of fresh cracked black pepper. These are a couple of these are really thick, so we're gonna add a little bit extra seasoning just because, you know, the thicker the meat, the more seasoning it's gonna take. But all right, so I'm flipping these over with my left hand. With my right hand, I'm gonna go back into the salt because we're gonna season both sides. And as one of my favorite chefs said, I don't know where you get your food, but mine don't come seasoned. So that's why we're adding all this. All right. Little pepper on this side. And then we got a pan right over here that's getting hot. We're gonna add a little bit of olive oil to it. And we're gonna start searing those off. So let's make our way over to the oven or to the stove, and I'll meet you over there. All right guys, so we are now over here at the oven. I am going to add a little bit of olive oil. We got a brand new thing of olive oil. You guys know I used the last of it up last time, so as soon as I can get this thing cracked open, we will get started. There we go. All right, so this pan is already hot. I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of oil to it. Not much. Just enough really to coat the bottom of the pan. It is a non-stick pan, so it should be okay. Also guys, I have the oven preheated at 350 degrees. We're gonna go ahead and put the chicken in here and start to get a sear on the outside. You're gonna hear that sizzle a little bit. Pan's not too hot because I don't want to get it too hot to transfer into the oven, but we are going to start these on the stove and then we are going to transfer them over to the oven. So we're going to let those cook here for just a few minutes, and I'll be back when we flip them to show you what we're working with. Okay guys, as you can hear, they are sizzling away in the pan. We got a decent sear on them. I'm just going to go ahead and flip them over now. Show you, you just want a little bit of brownness, nothing too crazy. We'll flip these over, and as soon as you got them flipped over, we're going to go ahead and turn the burner off, and we're going to transfer the whole pan straight into that preheated 350 degree oven. We're going to cook those until, as I always say, until it's done. It should be 10 or 15 minutes, but maybe not even that long. We'll keep checking back on them. As soon as they cool off, or as soon as they get done, we're gonna pull them out. We're gonna put them into the refrigerator to cool down, and then we'll chop them up to make the rest of this. So stick around, we're gonna start working on the rest of this meal. Okay guys, so the rest of this meal we're going to put together. It's gonna be quick, simple, and it'll take no time at all. So I'm gonna get a couple of things to get this ready. I've got a bowl that I'm gonna mix this in. This is our pretty blue bowl from our stand mixer. I actually love that bowl. So anyway, we've got a few things here. We've got a red onion, we've got some celery, and we've got some cashews. I like to use cashews. You can use any nut that you like. I just happen to like salted cashews, and so that's what we're using. But I'm going to go ahead and get this onion cut up real quick. And we're going to do this one slightly different than we did in the last video. This onion we are going to slice this way. One more in there, that one was pretty thick. Okay, so, and then we're just going to cut it up real thin. You don't need a ton of red onions. I don't like them terribly thick, so I'm going to go ahead and leave them a little bit less. In fact, I might even go over them one more time. We'll move this out of the way here, scoop them all together, and just go over them one time like this. Kind of mince them up a little bit. I don't like the big crunchiness of it. I like the texture to come from the nuts, but not necessarily from the onions. Although you will get a bite, and you will definitely taste that red onion in there. So we'll get that all chopped up. And then everything goes into the bowl. We're just gonna have a one bowl, one party in one bowl here. That's what we're doing. We'll get that there, we'll get the celery out. Now, celery, here's the key for me. At least this is what I think is the difference maker in something like this that we're making. I'm gonna break away all the stalks until you get down to the heart of the celery. And this is the part that I'm going to use. I'll probably use the top of this one here, and I'll use these. In these leaves, there are more nutrients and also more flavor from this part of the celery, and this is the part that most people just discard and throw away. So we're just going to chop that up real quick. So we're just going to take that middle part that we just chopped up. We're going to dice it the same way we did the onions. Just get it nice and finely chopped up. You can leave the celery a little bit bigger. You get a little bit more crunch out of the celery, which I do like. I'm going to go ahead and put all of that into the pot. And then I'm going to go ahead, because it didn't look like it was enough celery, I'm going to go ahead and cut up a couple of more. So we'll cut the tops off here. Always wash your celery. We'll make quick work of this. Okay, I think that's probably enough. We'll get a little bit more in here. I'm not going to give you any exact measurements because I don't think there are any exact measurements. You make it the way you like it. If you think it needs more celery, add more celery. You think it needs more onion, add more onion. So any way you want to make it, it's kind of up to you. So yeah, this is just the way I'm making it. I don't know how much. I probably got a quarter cup of red onions and a quarter cup, probably equal parts, quarter cup red onions, quarter cup celery. And I'm using 4 large chicken breasts. Okay, so that's that part of it. We got the onions, we've got the celery, everything's in the bowl. I don't know if you can see that. We're gonna take some of these cashews. And we are going to throw them on the board as well. And we are just going to rough cut those. I'm just going to run my knife back and forth, probably 2 to 3 times. No, probably just the 2. Cut those up. You want to leave some big pieces and some smaller pieces. Again, you're getting both the flavor from the cashew, but you're also getting that crunch. You're getting that texture that's going to be missing in this if you don't have something like this. So I can leave some of them whole, leave some of them chopped up, you name it. It's all going into the pot. Okay, we'll even just add a few more just for giggles, right? Okay, so here's your mixture. We just have celery, onions, and cashews in there right now. We are going to use a mixture of sour cream and mayonnaise, equal parts sour cream and mayonnaise, and we're going to mix those together, and that is going to be the base of the that we're going to mix into it to make the salad part of it. So that's my favorite part, and my trick in this, my secret in this recipe is the sour cream. The sour cream gives a little bit more flavor than just the mayonnaise, so I like to add the sour cream to build that base up. We're going to add that, a little bit of salt and pepper, and so as soon as we get the chicken breasts out, chopped up, I'll show you that. We'll get those added into the pan, and we'll finish this up. Stick around. All right, guys, so to serve with the chicken salad, I'm going to serve them in these amazing buttery croissants. I think it's a perfect way to serve it. You can use any type of bread that you like, but I just happen to like a good warm croissant to serve it on. So all I'm going to do is take those. I bought these fresh from the bakery. I'm just going to take them and slice them directly in half. You can buy sliced ones usually, but if you don't have them, then just grab some, slice them, and those will be ready. Those are going to be absolutely delicious. All right, guys, so the chicken is now done and out of the oven. I like to use a towel, obviously. Make sure you use something to pick up that pan with, because that handle is going to be screaming hot from coming straight out of a 350-degree oven. So do not reach in there and grab it with your hand. I've done it. I don't recommend you do it. So anyway, we've got a towel here. I like to use my favorite towel. Does this towel smell like chloroform to you? Both for the humor factor and the silliness. But all we're going to do here now is we're going to transfer this chicken onto this cutting board, and we're going to put this whole thing aside and let it come to room temperature or chill in the refrigerator for just an hour or so, and we'll be right back. All right, guys, so all I'm going to do here is add a couple more ingredients. I've got the sour cream, I've got the mayonnaise, and I like to use real mayo on this one. I do not like to use Miracle Whip. Yeah, you certainly can, but I'm not going to recommend it personally. I'm not a Miracle Whip fan in any way, shape, or form, and I think the sour cream gives it the creaminess and the tanginess that it needs. So I just use the sour cream instead. Again, we're using about equal parts. If anything, I'd go a little bit heavier on the mayonnaise, but not always. So we're just going to mix those two together, and that will be the basis for our chicken salad. So the chicken is out, and we are going to go ahead and cut it up. It is still, it is not quite cold the way I would want it to be, but it is ready to be cut up. So I'm going to go ahead and cut it. Now I'm going to cut it any old way you want. You just kind of want random chunks of chicken. I'm not doing anything uniform or anything like that. You can cut it as big or as small as you want. I'm just chopping it up into little chunks so that it'll be easy to eat. So, all right, so let's get, that is the last of it. You will see here in just a moment when I bring it over what we're working with and how big I cut those chunks, because some of them are going to be a little bit bigger, but they will easily break down. So we will kind of break apart a little bit in the process of mixing it up. So you go ahead and leave them a little bit bigger, and all right, we'll get this mixed up here. I'll get you a close-up shot here in just a second. All right, guys, so here is the mixture. You see the chicken on top. I am just going to fold that in. I got a lot of chicken there, but that's perfect because we want to have some leftovers. You see the celery in there, you see the onions, you see the cashews. I know what everybody's asking out there is saying, hey, yo, there should be maybe some raisins or some red grapes is usually what I see in there, red grapes. I've seen dried cranberries, any number of things. I personally don't like them in there myself, so I just leave them out. But definitely, if you like that, go ahead and add those in there. Last thing we're going to do, or last couple things we're going to do, is we're going to go ahead and add our mixture. This is the mayonnaise and sour cream. I'm gonna add a little bit. I'm gonna hold some back. We're gonna go ahead and mix that in just to see if we need more, need less. You don't ever want, you can't take it out. So don't add too much. Go ahead and add what you think you need, mix it up, and then if you need more, add more. So this looks pretty good, but I'm gonna add just a little bit more. I want it to be just a little bit wetter than that. We'll set this spoon aside and use this spatula here. Okay, so get that out of the way and we will mix these up. Guys, that is looking so good. I cannot wait. Cannot wait to serve that up on a warm croissant. We're going to go ahead and add a little bit of kosher salt. Always season your food. You'll want to add just a little bit of kosher salt, a little bit of fresh cracked black pepper. And then after you do that, always taste it. And if it needs more, add more. If it doesn't, then you're good to go. You're going to get some saltiness from the cashews. You're going to get some different flavors from all of this. So you always want to taste it. Make sure that it's where you think it needs to be. You can always add more seasoning, but you can't take it out. So don't get too crazy until you've tasted it. All right, so we are going to taste a little piece. And that is, wow. I could eat it just like that. Give me a spoon, people. It's time to eat. All right, it is time to eat. So we are going to take this buttery croissant. I love serving this on a croissant. We're just going to take some of this mixture, pile it really high onto that croissant, and could have got a bigger spoon, I'm guessing, huh? It's okay if it falls off around the edges. I love that. We're just gonna pile this high because it's so good. All right, guys, and then there you have it. We're just gonna set that right there just like that. And it is dinner time. Absolutely delicious. Guys, I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I am going to enjoy eating it and feeding it to my family and friends. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you like this. If you did like this content, be sure to like, share, subscribe, turn on notifications, all those good things. And we will see you in the next one.